Today is Wednesday, December 7th, 2016. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor, Millennials vs. Gen X, Episode 12.
It said 13 on the TV. Isn't that interesting?
It's not surprising. Some of the pictures had different things on them, too.
This episode was titled Slayed the Survivor Dragon, and I was unsuccessful in identifying who said that for the title. So.
Really?
It's not in the beginning. It's not at the end, at least not that I heard, so somewhere in the middle there.
We missed that. Well, we'll just have to watch it through again.
Previously on Survivor, we're told that Zeke's alliance had the numbers over David's alliance, but Will wanted to graduate. And Adam plays the idol, but it's unnecessary when Will had flipped to David, which is the beginning of a strange little twist of the story. I guess maybe it's inconsequential, but I thought it was significant. There's just no way for Adam to know that Will had flipped. But we're going to come back to this because it certainly comes up again. So that I always like to highlight when things don't quite match up with what I recall there. Okay, they're back from Tribal. It's night 33, and David says, "Great playing, great move, Will." Continuing on that thread. Will tells us he came in a kid and he's leaving this tribal a man.
Now, I expected fully for him to just be really ticked that Adam played the idol. And
they didn't show us. They say later there was discussion, but they didn't show us.
They didn't show us
because they're spinning the story.
Yeah.
For Will? I guess they're spinning the story for Will at this point. They're trying to make it look like something significant, like to give him something.
Okay.
And Will tells us he's going to flip-flop to win.
All the way to the end. Flip-floppers have not been rewarded.
They're oftentimes punished for that kind of strategy, so I'm curious what Will saw in this group, in this jury pool, that he thought they would respect and reward that, why they were willing to consider that, because it's not usually favored, right? It's not considered in a positive light.
Well, and it hasn't this season either, but have we ever had a season where the entire group was almost all flip-floppers all over, though? I mean, I never know who's going to vote with who. They're all openly talking with each other, and let's do this and let's do that. And
sure, we had a few seasons back. Was it this time last year? That was the big theme, the voting blocks.
The only solid alliances I'm aware of is Ken and David.
Bret and Sunday have been together through thick and thin for quite a while now, from the beginning, I think.
She's gone now, so. But I'm talking about now. But, whoa. This season is wonderful, but it's confusing the heck out of me. It's really hard to vote each week.
Speaking of Bret and Sunday, they're all about getting to the final three. They're a little confused with how it seems that Will's strategy is. His actions are being rewarded as they sit and talk down on the beach after Tribal there.
Bret says he's thinking like a high school kid.
Yeah, checking all the boxes, making sure he gets his work done.
It's like, that's what he is, Bret. He is a high school kid.
Bret tells us they're all insane, but there's got to be a way for him to stay alive.
So Bret, Adam, and Sunday, Jay, Dave, and Will are their biggest threats in the game.
Yep, looks like they met up at the water hole there, the quasi-pseudo well, together water, and had a discussion.
I guess they thought Will was so dangerous because he's the kind of was the swing or something. I wasn't sure why they thought he was so dangerous. In response to his recent action.
Yeah, I didn't get how he got lumped in with David and Jay either. So
no, but okay.
They tell us they can't decide who's more important. It's just they've got to go.
Yeah, really.
Adam loves it. He says he's got Hannah and Ken and now Bret and Sunday. He's good to go. They make a deal, shake on it. They're going to get rid of those big threats.
Well, maybe if Adam believes he has Ken, then maybe Ken would turn on David. And
I don't know why Adam thought he had Ken.
I don't either. That was my point in saying
There's a definite question
Maybe
mark there.
There's something we didn't see, but I wasn't seeing that. But Okay, and then we go right into the first.
Well, we got a lot to
immunity
get done in an hour. Well, actually in 42 minutes. So
I know.
right to the first community challenge there on day 34. It's going to be a 2-day cycle, and we get challenges on both days.
Well,
David takes one look at it and says, this one's involved.
Yeah. The reason I didn't put Jay to go home this week was I really thought he would win at least one of these two challenges. And so I didn't really see a way, if he didn't lose the first one and they flushed the idol, I just didn't think they were going to get it done.
Seems wise, especially in hindsight. I thought they were really going to get rid of the big threats. So
Did you have Jay going?
had Jay and David going.
Oh.
So definitely took a risk there. I thought I was going to rake in some points. It was not to be. So David got off to a really good start. He was doing good with his balance.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He was flying through there, doing really good.
He'd been holding back.
Yeah. And then Bret, he got a second wind or a third wind. Bret actually charged up there in the second phase and did really good with that wire maze that they had to get through with the balance bar.
Yeah, that seemed pretty complicated. I wonder how long that took for them to, start to finish, because it looked very complicated.
I wonder how graduated Will felt when he was doing that challenge. And Probst pointed out that he was stuck at the beginning. That had to hurt a little, don't you think? That stung.
Well, yeah, and
couldn't even get out of first gear.
Will still
stuck at the beginning.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, but Jay flew through it again. He did a great job and ended up winning individual immunity.
Yep.
At which point I thought, I'm not getting any points off Jay. So, to your earlier point, it went down as you expected.
Yeah, if he hadn't had the idol still, maybe, but...
Probst tells us that Jay's now good to day 35, and they're going to add a sixth member to the jury tonight. And Jay, in his quick confessional after that win, told us that he didn't even need to talk to these fools. He was probably going to go spearfishing. So he was safe, and he didn't need any social interaction, which worries me a bit for him.
Don't you think Ken feels a little bit competitive with Jay?
They both feel competitive with each other. Don't you remember they were both having confessionals where they talked about This isn't the first time we've heard Ken talk about
he would get over that.
Jay being his mini-me. Well, that's the definition of competitive, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so back at camp, Ken tells us it's Jay again. He had won 3 out of the last 4 challenges.
Well, Jay's leaning more toward getting rid of Ken. He's trying to target Ken, but, David's dying. He can't win, blah, blah. He can't win challenges.
What do you think about Will's response? Will went a little harsh there, huh?
What was it he said? I know
he said David's a weasel.
Oh, I didn't
David's
remember that.
a weasel, and he beats us at the end. So if David's a weasel, what does that make you and Jay, Will? If he beats you. Will tells us that he's going to talk to everyone, and he's calling the shots.
And that Bret, Hannah, and Sunday are obviously going to go with him to vote out David. And everybody just says yes, which is what they're supposed to do. But I don't know how you'd ever trust the vote. You just never know.
No, I don't think you do. That gets highlighted all the time with Probst's questions.
So,
David's scared. He knows he's in trouble.
Very scared.
And he even says Will should follow up by taking me out.
Absolutely. It's the smart move for him.
Flip to me and then take me out.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that would
have been something.
Be a big resume.
Yeah, that would have been something worthy of referencing. Adam tells us Will's a bigger threat when he's talking to Bret.
Well, and Adam doesn't like it that Will thinks he can control Adam in his future. I think that was the thing that really got Adam going even more, is he doesn't want that.
He doesn't want to have to answer to Will. I don't think he respects him in that way in the game.
Yeah, so he starts targeting him. And then Bret and Sunday, again, just say yes.
Here's again one of those other points where you see Hannah and Adam talking, and Hannah asks Adam, is it right to go after Will since he saved me? And she's sitting there talking to Adam.
who
Adam,
actually played an idol
who
for her.
guaranteed her safety,
Yeah.
right? There's no way to know.
Just in case Will hadn't gone.
Right. That seemed like a really odd discussion to me. I made a note beside that when we were watching and we paused and talked. It just makes no sense.
Well, and that she feels like she owes Will and David, but yet she doesn't say anything about, and you, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why aren't you voting
We don't get
with
that, at
Adam
least.
as loyalty to him?
Right. The editors, if it was said, they didn't share that part with us.
Well, I think she did in the end, but...
Adam tells us that he and Hannah can decide who the blind side will be, Will or Dave, off to
And-
tribal council.
Yeah, well, and he knows he needs to start making some big moves, too.
Yep.
And I think that's probably more what it's about than anything. Everyone's trying to scramble for their resume going in. Okay, Jeff gave Will credit for
Yeah.
Zeke's vote off.
Everything
when
on
Zeke
you.
came in.
You're making the move to take out Zeke.
You were the swing. And that's when the first time something, we see that Will's like, well, Adam played an idol. He didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
And quite a bit was said about it back at
Right.
camp. It's like, yeah, but why didn't we get to see any of that?
Yes.
But at least that's gave us something there. So we'll ask Will.
Right.
He can tell us himself. So, okay.
David notes that, yep, once again, he's got deep concerns that it's him.
And Hannah explains to us that you want to play with people who want to play with you and get the threats out. It's like, well, from what I was seeing, everyone wanted to play with everyone and was saying yes to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Adam tells us the big moves make you a big threat, and they have a short discussion about that. So that's a little foreshadowing for Will there.
Mm-hmm. Well, David admitted it does put a target on your back, but you need to do it. If you want to win, you have to do it anyway, even if it
It's
does.
the defining characteristic, the
and
goats
it's
versus the
raining
big
on
moves.
them.
Yeah.
Or was it Taylor gloating a little bit that this was the driest they were going to be tonight? So
Yep. It was a soaking rain. So.
yeah, the others had to go back to a wet camp.
Okay, so we count off the votes. 2 come in for David, and then the big count comes in for Will.
Yep, Will and Jay voted David, and everyone else voted Will.
Boom, boom, boom. 5 and he's gone.
Bye-bye, Will. At least Will accepted it. Have a blast, guys. Good luck to all of you.
Yeah, he had some nice
Good
last
sport.
words. It seemed like he was doing okay. Although when the jury came in, I couldn't help but think, this may be boiling up to be a bitter jury. Were you getting any kind of vibe off of them?
No, not necessarily. I think
I hope
Yeah.
they're not. I actually initially didn't consider it at all. And then after, we were noticing how Chris responded to Zeke and some of
that's
the
true.
other, there's some people with some pretty deep feelings about this season. So
yeah, and
they're going to turn around and take it out on the final 3, I'm thinking.
Maybe depends on who's left.
Right.
But I think they work it out. It's the last 3 that are evicted. They're not gonna have any time to process really.
They never do. Yeah.
So
The last few.
they should be more bitter than the
And
others.
another little
probably.
bit of nice foreshadowing. Probst tells us that it's natural to want to hide, but you must be seen. So I think he's foreshadowing a little bit
I do
about
too.
the
I
light
think-
coming on Sunday.
I think that's what's going to come up at tribal council is we have to have seen what moves you made.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what you made behind the scenes. If we didn't see it and know about it, then
Right.
you don't get credit for it. Now,
They get back to camp, and Jay tells us, hey, you make a plan with me, you go home. I'm all alone. I got no alliance, but I still have an idol.
David thanks everybody.
Yep. Adam tells Jay, sorry I lied to you again.
Well, and Jay's, being very confident in, and there's lots more immunity idols to be won, so.
Yeah, I thought he handled this part really well. He was telling us about the whole sick relationship, how they love and hate each other as they were sitting there and chatting. We had that confessional
With
from
Adam.
Jay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the yin-yang relationship they
I
had.
trust you. Like, no, you don't.
He seemed like he was trying to get in Adam's head a little bit, telling him, David's not going to take you to the end. Mm-hmm. And
You can't beat him.
Jay didn't take the bait at first, and then he did a little.
Jay take the bait. He was talking to Adam.
Yeah, Adam didn't.
Okay. All right, you confused me there. Don't confuse me any more than I already. So, okay.
But Adam tells us it was all about just making Jay comfortable. That's
Yes,
really what the
'cause
conversation
he really
was.
needs to get Jay and his idol out of the game.
Yep. Jay tells him, I'll take you to the end, which is the right thing for Jay to say.
Yeah, I believe Jay's playing a very good game. And if he wins it, I don't know if it'll be as satisfying for me, but I think he's a nice enough guy and that he has played the game. So
Well, they've all
if
played.
he gets
But
there,
there's
he gets.
something off about his social game, just like there is with Ken's, I think.
I would think Ken's was a little more off, but
It's similar in the sense that, like when you saw Jay win that individual immunity, him saying, well, I can just go off and do my own thing. I don't have to be talking to anyone. I don't have to be part of anything. I'm good for tonight.
if you're still in the game, you might have a brief reprieve, but you need to still be
Or not.
playing.
Maybe you're playing the whole time and you don't let up.
Yeah.
Okay, day 35, time for another immunity challenge as we knock out 2 castaways this week.
Goodness.
I like this. I really like this multitasker challenge
Mm-hmm.
that they put together here. So you've got a timer.
That would just drive me nuts. I'd never get it. I couldn't focus. You could probably do it. You multitask pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like to focus on one thing at a time, please.
Yeah, it's challenging to try to keep that in mind, but I immediately thought, oh, I like this one. I might be able to manage it well in terms of having a sense of the timing where we were and making a move, pushing it on the stack so that I could come back to it and all that. So, and I liked how it worked where you had that pause, because that pause could work to your advantage too.
Yeah,
it gave
to
you time to
study it.
study and figure out
As long
what
as
to
you
do.
didn't do it too many times
Yeah.
to really, because it was very slow.
Okay, so the big question is, what did you think about Adam helping Ken? Because Ken, you could tell he was lining up for some spelling mistakes, and then Adam just helped keep him calm and helped him get back on track and win. So he just threw away his chance at individual immunity.
He did, but he could see that he wasn't going to get it, I think, because I think that was right at the end when Jay or Ken was going to beat him, and he wanted it to be Ken, not Jay.
Actually, David, he said he was more concerned about.
Well,
He said David was really close, and
somebody else was
he
gonna,
certainly didn't want Jay to have individual immunity.
So, I'm not sure it was a good decision on his part. Might have won him some favor with Ken or even a little with David. But
I really liked it because it kept David and Jay in play. It helped ensure that they were not going to have individual immunity in that sense, and that further meant that Jay wouldn't get to stretch out his hidden immunity that much further. Mm-hmm. So, very cool. And then, of course, you noted right away, hey, that's got Ken to day 36. He'll get his legacy advantage. So that was a big win for Ken.
yes,
They congratulated Ken, but that seemed hollow. I don't know.
Good job, Ken.
No, they seemed to be giving him sincere congratulations when they were talking to him.
Yeah.
Ken
Well,
tells us, well, Jay's a strong contender and he is that mini-me, but I'm glad he doesn't have individual immunity. Okay, so they're back at camp and get the, you really liked that sea turtle scene and the big manta rays. And
Yeah.
they timed the audio so it was like a big thunderclap
slapping at
when he
the water
slapped
or
it.
something,
Yeah.
Okay, so David and I guess it was Ken go off, and David's going to tell Ken his plan. Hannah walks up. They've already figured out, okay, we'll send Bret home. Here's how we're going to split it up to be as safe as possible, et cetera, et cetera. And Hannah pops in and goes, not Bret, Sunday. Need to get Sunday out.
Oh, you mean the only other woman still in the game? I think that's where she was coming from with
don't
this
know.
stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, she tells us that she had worked harder than Sunday, but if she did, we didn't get to see it.
Oh.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. There's no way for us to really know that, only what we've seen. But hey, my girl is still the only woman left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something if she doesn't get anything else.
Yeah, well, she's gonna
Last
get
woman
some of that.
standing.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it was just for that. I think Hannah, she doesn't appear to think of herself as a goat, but I wonder in private if she thinks, If Sunday's not here, they'll take me.
Interesting. Oh, could be.
You think? Maybe?
No, she didn't seem to be thinking that way. She
I know
wanted to be
she
thought
didn't,
of
but I wondered
the other
if
way as a player making moves.
they're not showing us that still, that she thinks she can, like Sunday said, she thought she had an argument, but even though nobody else did. But I think Hannah thinks nobody thinks I have one, but I do, and I got my speech ready, and they'll take me as a goat maybe, but I'll show them. Anyway, I just wondered. That'll be a question at some point, but.
Yeah, just before that, we skipped over the part where Jay was so adamant. He was telling him, hey, let me stay over those two. Mm-hmm. Adam tells Ken, and Hannah's there, that Jay's 2 wins from the game at this point, and they really need to factor that in.
Well, they felt good to want to flush that idol out.
Yep.
Because he could have played it 2 more times.
Big scene coming up here. Adam's talking to Jay, and Adam tells him, hey, you're going to have to play your idol. They're forcing your hand for sure.
Well, I'm assuming they tell him that every time, though. Somebody.
And Jay says, hey, please get me to the end. That was pretty good. That was humble Jay. That was Jay working to get himself there.
Well, I think he's been pushing Adam for, several different scenes in this episode.
What did you think about the next part here, though? This is like the pivotal exchange of the episode as far as I'm concerned. When Adam shared about his mom, he told Jay that. And Ken was right there. He seemed like Ken was within earshot.
Huh. I didn't see that.
Well, when he came up to get in the hammock there with him, you could see Ken. Oh. Maybe you didn't because you spend so much time trying to write exactly what they said word for word.
I do not.
You do.
Not. Okay.
You're like a pause machine.
Oh, hush.
And
okay.
Jay could really relate because his mom's had a lot of issues.
Yeah, I was.
Brain aneurysms.
Boy, I was surprised at how Jay went right to tears immediately.
Yep.
Adam really touched on, obviously, a big fear
Something
of his.
they had in common.
Oh, yeah.
That we didn't know about either.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't really want to be seen crying, but...
So at this point, after that discussion, in a quick confessional, Jay tells us that Adam's not a weasel anymore as far as he's concerned.
He's a warrior.
Weasel to warrior. There's been a lot of weasel talk in this cast, I think, or at least between Jay and Will. Hannah tells Adam, I'm voting for Sunday. And Adam said, well, it's David or Jay for me. They're the huge threats.
Well, obviously Hannah thinks she's closer to David. So do you think that Ken and David have promised her final 3? And Adam and somebody else have promised her final 3? That's why I said I feel like Hannah's really setting herself up for different people to take her with.
Mm-hmm. Which is smart. I mean, you have to make the most of what you have and how you're perceived and what you can bring to the game. And sometimes it's not a lot, but you need to try your best to make the most of it.
I still think she's played hard.
Certainly commend her for that. She's just not effective.
Maybe
I don't
not
think,
always
in the
well,
context
but hard.
Of the game. Yeah, okay,
not afraid to make moves and talk to people, and she certainly puts herself out there.
We have seen some of that. It's just her effectiveness up until this point seemed to be almost nil.
Well, and then she tells us, the kind of person who wins is someone who can change others' ideas to go along with hers.
Right. Make a decision and convince others.
And she did that.
That's what she believes.
Obviously. She changed Adam and got them to go and vote Sunday out.
Yeah,
okay.
Seems like you got to give her credit for that. It doesn't.
I do.
As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm not saying it will win her the game.
It's like just to give me to Hannah, just like Adam helping Ken.
That would be so funny, wouldn't it?
What's that?
If Hannah did win, I hung on to her because I didn't really think about she would really win.
That would be a hoot.
Not in a while, anyway. But. I like it.
I think anything's possible at this point. This is a group that makes interesting decisions with who they leave in the game. You had this opportunity to take out David. They just keep leaving who they think are the biggest threats in the game. They either move too early or now they're going to move too late.
I know. You look at... you make a big case to take Will out. Big case to take Jay. Even to go after Adam and David. And they go after Sunday?
Yeah.
Good job, Hannah.
Yeah, that's how you're going to read it. Okay.
It's
Last
just-
woman standing. Why not? Okay,
Hey.
to tribal council.
Okay.
Is it about alliances and friendships? Do they matter? And David tells us that's what he leans on. Even more so now, those bonds are important.
Yeah, and that's why he stayed so long. So he's
I like Jay's quip there. Yeah, I agree. Even though I don't have any,
what's the matter?
which is
My
actually
God.
good for his case in a way. That's really to the jury.
Yeah.
He's
You were
saying,
my alliances. I'm still hanging on,
yes,
but
I'm here even though I've got none of what they have. Mm-hmm. But Bret's not buying it. He just tells us, yeah, I think Jay's a little scared tonight.
yep, because he's not wearing the idol around his neck this time. I think again they're like poking him. You better play your idol or
That
you're
part
going
was
home.
good. Yeah. No, I thought that was to the point. That was right on. Because they really blundered that with the Chris. When they took Chris out and blindsided him, we didn't get to see anything of them giving Jay a reason to play that idol back then. So I think that
So-
was a goof.
Adam said they should fear David. Right?
He's got that
pointed
great
out.
story. He laid it all out. Yep.
Yeah.
Great little
But
summary.
Adam didn't vote for David. So he was still making somebody think he was voting with him for David. I guess maybe the two that did, Jay and Bret.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more going on that we don't always notice in the moment when you look back at the vote and go, oh, you said that, but you weren't targeting David.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting that Sunday chose this point to make a case for why she was a threat to win the game.
Well, I'm sure
How's that for timing?
that was editing that, we're going to give her, here's something.
Well,
we
it's a
can say.
question to try to get her to say something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to that end.
Okay, and Hannah tells us that
Why did-
everybody here already has their final speech ready in their heads.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a
I
minute.
don't know about that either.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure they'd consider
Why did
it.
Hannah look distressed, you think, right after Sunday was talking about how she was a threat? Why would Hannah need to look distressed?
Don't you think Hannah
She was just worried that it wouldn't go that way?
Hannah just goes into that place. She gets stressed about whatever's happening.
Sure. Adam tells us or reminds everyone that it's really the jury's perception that counts. That is it.
That's true.
Like you were talking about before, if they don't know you did something, it doesn't
Yep.
count.
Yep. She
And
thinks
Jay-
she's underestimated.
It appears to have worked because Jay plays his hidden immunity idol.
Yes.
All right, so Jay got 1 vote, David got 2, Sunday got 4. Sunday's blindsided, she's gone.
Yep.
And Jay is quite upset that he had to play that hidden immunity idol.
Yep. Jay's vote came from Sunday. David's came from Jay and Bret, and the rest voted for Sunday.
So poor Bret's out of the loop again. All right, so as Probst tells us, we're down to 6. We got 3 millennials versus 3 Gen X. What do you think about this group?
Well, it's a good group. Let's see. Who do you want to win out of this group? Who would be your top 3?
Jay, I think, has the better story right now, but now I'm thinking he hasn't had a good social game.
I still think David's got a really good chance.
Yeah, he does. He does, and so does
Oh.
Adam. The question is going to be, are Jay and Adam are they going to keep that?
Adam's got a good chance.
That's the secrets about the moms there.
I don't think Bret has as good a chance, but you never
No.
know with who's on the jury.
Right.
Because they like him. They've said they like Bret as a person. So
It's just that you can go back and say your choice and your vote didn't really get you there.
yeah. Some of them
You just
don't
got to
like
tag
Ken.
along.
Some like Ken, some don't. And I don't know about Hannah. I think everybody likes Hannah, but I don't know that they'll think her game was good enough to win.
Well, she doesn't have David's story, right? She
True.
didn't have the overcome. She's told us that she was exactly like David. But she doesn't have David's story of learning how to cope and compensate and get over that bar.
Well, here's the thing. If I were Bret, Ken, and Hannah, I would certainly try my best to go with that group than end up there against
With what
Adam,
group?
Jay, or David. For Bret, Ken, and Hannah to be the final 3, that they shouldn't want David, Jay, or Adam to get
Sure.
to the
Yeah.
final.
Yep.
I don't think either one of them has a chance against Adam, Jay, or David. Though there's people that were really upset with Adam, but so I think the top 2 to win if they get there would be Jay and David. So if Jay and David end up there, and if Adam, Jay, and David end up there, I don't know who would win for sure.
Yeah, it gets a lot trickier then.
Yes.
It'll come down to a lot to what they have to say and
Absolutely.
what
How
they can
say
pull
it,
together at the end, yeah.
how they answer the questions, all of that, what their stories are.
You know, Sunday spent time with Jay, so I could see her voting for Jay, right?
Yeah,
She seemed to get along
she
with him
seemed to
pretty
get
well
along
when
with
they
him
were
very well.
after the shuffle. So you got Will,
And he
you got
didn't vote for
Michelle,
her.
you got Taylor, right?
Jay and Bret didn't vote for her, so
Zeke. Zeke could probably respect a Jay win. He might be okay with that. There you go. There's 5.
yeah. Oh, I think Jay's a definite threat if he gets there. There's no question about that. Even if he just took the millennials, and I think he could get, like you said, more than that.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't think
if Adam ends up on the jury, he'll give his vote to Jay.
You think? Huh?
Mm-hmm. Because they've had that bond. Adam hadn't had that kind of relationship. At least they haven't shared it with us. If he had with David,
I would think Sunday would toss her vote to Bret if he got there. You think? Or is that?
I wouldn't
not
think it's a
clear?
guarantee.
Well, oh yeah. She said something. I only got to watch her Ponderosa video while you were getting set up, but she did say something about. I think she said Jay told her that Bret said he didn't want to go to the end against her. Her story was too good.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody there said, "What story?" And Chris said she had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She survived cancer. They went, "Oh, I don't know if he said that, but that's what Jay told her."
Mm-hmm.
So she might vote Jay, even if Bret was there.
All right, next time on Survivor, there's 6 left.
Ooh.
David's finally making a fake immunity idol.
Yes,
We were hoping someone was going to do this back at the
I
beginning.
know.
Had to wait till day 36.
He says it's a dirty trick, but hey, if
It looked
he could
pretty
do it-
good.
Yeah, I thought so too. What was he painting it with?
Oh, I don't know.
He found
Just
something.
He
to-
found one of those kind of shells.
Uh-huh.
It looked like it was reasonable.
I
And
think that's
Adam was out
awesome.
looking. I don't think they're. Do you think they'll plan another? I guess they might. Now that they're all out
There's
and
still 6
and
in
there's-
the game.
yeah, so there really could be one that comes back in.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Even if they don't, it doesn't matter as long as they think there is.
Mm-hmm.
Or they think somebody found it. Or
I couldn't tell if that clip with Adam looking was of the one that he found or if it looked like it was another one. But there very well may be. They may re-hide a hidden immunity
yeah,
idol.
but 6 people because
Yeah.
they can play it till 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they could. That would be, wow.
And-
I don't know how they're going to get through all this in 2 hours.
Ken's, yeah,
6
Ken's.
people.
It'll go like this. It'll go really quick.
And this was really fast. It was just like zoom.
It bothered you.
So
You
much
wanted to
crammed
slow
in. It's
everything
like,
down.
Wait.
Yeah.
This is just going so quickly.
So Ken gets to take a look at his legacy advantage. So we will get to see that and how it plays out.
Yay.
Don't know if it'll be effective or not, if it'll get tossed away, but looking forward to seeing that.
Sunday says it's gut wrenching to go this deep in the game, get so close.
Oh,
and
sure. Yeah.
Go home.
That's the thing, though. It hurts no matter where you are. You already had a 1 in 20 chance from day 1 at winning, and that's got to feel close. Those kind of odds in
4
life
days
you almost
away
never
is
have.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Sure. Certainly bittersweet. So
Okay, you know what I'm happy about?
that you got a point back and we're tied in JSFL.
Yes.
JSFL update.
We're
Lay it out
going-
for us.
I don't have an update, honey.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, I thought you were in there running it so you could get the numbers for us. My bad.
No. When there's 2, I am not capable of doing that because it has to be hand done. And
Okay.
therefore, that's
So we'll-
way outside of my expertise.
So we'll
Steve
review
will
it
have to do it.
in the JSFL on Saturday.
Yes, we'll do that on Saturday. However, I did kind of just run through and I saw that at least 177 people got a point for Will.
Good deal. All right.
Anything that rolled over, I wouldn't be able to see yet. But and 45 people got a vote off point for Sunday.
Wow, that's a fair amount to see her end up going. So good job.
And that could be a little more, a little less, but that's in the ballpark.
Okay.
And,
All right, so no JSFL update. We'll get to that on
No, we'll do
Saturday
that
to
on
see
Saturday.
where we stand going into the finale.
Yes. I'm anxious to see what everybody has to say because I just don't know.
Yeah, that's what you say every time.
Well, it's true. I never do know, and then I change it 50 times.
But like Joanne said, we are absolutely interested in hearing your thoughts as we head into this finale. It's been an exciting, challenging season, and it looks like nothing's going to change as we head into the home stretch.
Good.
Yeah. So we've got our listener feedback show on Saturday, looking to get your thoughts and predictions for the finale and how you perceived this episode. Would you like to see another one like this where they do 2 vote outs in one episode? Was it too much, or did you like it? I kind of like the pace. So
Yeah, but you can't watch anything that's not a fast pace. It bores you because you're used to playing video games live, and so
that's what it is. That's your theory.
Yeah, that's my theory.
Well, maybe you enjoyed it, maybe you didn't. We look forward to hearing that too.
I did.
Yeah, this listener feedback is a milestone for us. It's going to be our 1,000th podcast episode. So we really hope that you'll come be a part of that and that little bit of Survivor Fans podcast history and join us and share your thoughts on this season and your predictions for who's going to win it all. And the voicemail number is 206-350-1547. There's a toll-free version, 844-643-8737. Keep that feedback in the 3-minute range. You can type it up and send it in an email to joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. You can always find these phone numbers in the email address at getsfp.com. And you can record your own audio, which is the way for you to best control the overall quality and the result there, and send that as an attachment too. So you've got all those options to get your thoughts in. It's due noon Pacific time on Saturday. Now we have to go get 2 sets of interview questions tuned up for tomorrow. So we'll get you an interview with Will and an interview with Sunday that we'll put out tomorrow. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think we better get back to work.
I think so too. I had one other thing though, just really quickly, because I've mentioned it before. It's another show. It's not like Survivor for me, but season 3 of Alone starts tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow on the History Channel, and they're in Patagonia this time.
Oh, you have something to go to tomorrow night.
Yes, I do.
I may have to watch it before you get home.
It comes on after I get back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it comes on at 9. I'll be back by 9.
Okay.
So the guitar club goes till like 8:30, I think, something like that.
The website will be switching over at midnight Central Time, and it will be ready for you to select your final 5 order. The website is only set up to go for
we
5.
Didn't anticipate going with
Did
final
not
6.
anticipate.
Back when we first made all this and with Steve put together the nice online system, it was always a final 4.
A lifesaver. That's probably the only reason we're still doing it.
But he has to do a lot of custom work just to come up with to tweak it to figure this stuff out.
The 6th place, the person that will go out next is assumed because they won't be in the list of the final 5.
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to work.
It's implied. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's how you
should be ready for you to make your picks, and this is big points, right? It's
Very
another 50
big
points. So
well, 50
the game
plus with
the game can really pivot on this for sure.
It's 50 points in the final 4.
Oh yeah, just for the final 4, and then
the
so we've
other
got another possible 5 points with the last vote out there. Okay.
So that's still a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do you have a USB? No, your USB's out.
Do you have one, Ann?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I have
Who was
USB
yours?
24.
Oh my goodness. Who did you choose?
Oh, you know who I chose. I chose Hannah. And if she wins, I will be laughing my honey off.
Yeah, it could be. Anything could happen. This is an interesting season. They're definitely not following some previous molds.
Yeah, I really don't care. I just like to enjoy the show and enjoy playing. So whatever happens, happens.
There you go.
I'm not too caught up in that, but it should be fun.
Looking forward to it. Have a good one.